Hello and welcome to another video tutorial of Marquee Addons. Today we are going to show how can we add Post Marquee for our WordPress website. To add this feature we need two plugins, Marquee Addons and Marquee Addons Pro. I will add both plugin link in the video description. Let's get started. Just drop that widget in Elementor editor canvas. Marquee is running. We can also add this widget by searching here Post Marquee. It's appeared. So from here we can also add this feature or this widget. So we can set how many posts we can add in this Marquee. So we can increase or decrease Marquee items or post items, and for best performance we can add maximum 20 posts. We can increase or decrease card width, and also we can set position for images. We can make it top, left, right, or none. So this is how actually it works. And we can also set image resolution for this Marquee, and we can also add some ratio for images like this, and we can also set image width, and we can add lazy load for images, and we can also set title length, how many words we actually want to show in title. For an example, if we want two words, it will show 2 words. So by default it's 10. And also we can add title HTML tag. We can set h1, h2, h3 or h4, any tags we want here for this title. And we can show this excerpt, or we can also add how many excerpt length we want. Make it 10. It's showing. So 10 words, this excerpt length showing. We can set actually from here how many words for excerpt we are gonna allow. So by default it's 20. And we can also turn that off, this option, if we don't want this feature. And there is an option metadata, so we can add more metadata here. For an example, author, time. So author is also showing. We can also, right now we are separating this metadata using this. We can also make hyphen or dot, anything you want we can add as a separator. So right now it's by default. And we can also add read more text, this one. We can also turn that off if we don't need that. We can add read more text from here, and is this, when we click on read more, is this will open in new tab or not? We can set that from here also. And for each post item, if we want add more gaps between each items, we can set that from here by increasing column gaps. For example, I want here now 50, so it's showing. And we can also row gap, when we want top and bottom some extra gaps, we can also increase this, make it 50, so we can see that top and bottom added some space or row gaps. This is how actually column and row gaps works. And there is an option query. So query is actually for how we filter this post. For an example, there is an option post type. So right now it's showing post. If we want page to show here in this marquee, we can show that also. So this is our page, this page description, this title. So we can also add in this marquee custom post type. So there is how many posts we can see. All of this post we can show in this marquee, not only post. And we can also filter the post by date, past week, past month, and we can also include author or exclude which post we don't want to show. We can manually select them. We can also exclude specific author post. So we have all that features. And also we can order this post by date, title, menu order, and also you can show that ascending order or descending order. And there is an option, marquee options. So when this option is enabled, marquee will run. When we turn this button off, it's not gonna work. And there is an option show vertical. So when we want vertically show this marquee, we can show that by simply click on here. It's running vertically and running bottom to top. So when we want add reverse, when we enable actually this reverse feature, it will run top to bottom. Right now it's running bottom to top. Let's see. Yes. So this is how actually reverse switch works. So right now I don't need vertical, so I can make it horizontal. And this reverse functionality actually works for also horizontal post marquee. And there is an option pause on hover. So when we pause on this post marquee, it's automatically paused. So if we want to turn that off, then it's not gonna work. And there is an option drag to scroll. Here we can see that. So if we want make it, if we try to scroll it, it's not works. Left to right or right to left. But when we turn this feature on, we can also make it right to left or left to right. This is how actually this works. And there is an option speed. So we can increase or decrease marquee speed. So by default it's 10. So let's make it 50. It will increase its speed. So right now I don't need drag to scroll. So make it default speed. And there is an option add shadow. When we enable that, you can see that a shadow appeared. So we can add also, or we can add also style to this shadow in when we see our style parts. So this is how actually add shadow works. With this option you can add shadow. And there is another option, marquee on scroll. If we enable that, okay, marquee stop. And to show this feature we need more content. So right now there is no content, so we can add some extra space from advanced. Make it 500, and for bottom make it 500. And if we scroll down top to bottom, so we can see marquee is running, or scroll is working actually. When you scroll when you're scrolling top to bottom or bottom to top, it's scrolling. So this is how actually scroll on marquee works, or marquee on scroll works. So right now I don't need extra spacing here. and we can turn that off if we don't want this marquee on scroll effect. And there is an option style, so we can add box alignment. For an example, we can also add text alignment, actually left, center or right. This is how it works. By default it's left. And we can also add border width for this box. We can add border radius. If I want some, we can see that border appeared. And we can also add border radius like this. This is how actually border radius works. And we can also add some spacing for this card or box, or we can also add content spacing from here. If I want 10, it's showing. So by default I think it's 10. Let's make it 20. It's showing. Yeah, this is how actually this padding works, content padding works. And there is an option normal or hover, so we can also add border color in normal. And when we hover on this items, we can also add for that situation some style added. For an example, border color. If I make it blue, we can see that the difference. This is how actually this feature works. So right now I don't need any hover color here. This is how actually box style property works. There is an option image. We can also add some border radius to our image, and we can add image spacing like this. And there is an option CSS filter. We can add some CSS filter on in our image. So this is how actually this filter works. So right now I don't need any CSS filter. And there is an option content. From here we can add title, this title color, typography. We can increase its font size. We can add text stroke. We can add spacing. For an example, color, if we want, add here some spacing. This is how it actually works. So we can also increase this title font size and also text stroke like this. Make it. This is how it works. Same things for metadata. We can also add meta color, meta separator color, meta typography. We can increase meta font size. We can also add meta spacing like this. And there is an option excerpt. From excerpt we can also, for excerpt we can also add its color, its font size, its spacing like this. And there is an option read more. For read more we can add color, its typography, its spacing. This is how actually content styles works. And there is another option, its shadow. So we can also add our shadow color from here. Which color we actually preferred, we can make it, we can increase size and also make it blur. This is how actually its shadow works and its shadow style property works. So this is what we can do with our Post Marquee. Thanks for watching.